Hello, this is Matthew, and I welcome you to another episode of Unrewarded Intelligence, the channel that offers you free information about expensive matters. This week, the cryptocurrencies market had a hard downfall, moving Bitcoin to $39,795, $1 is 2,513 sats, and Ethereum at $3,010.37. Geopolitical risk dominated the conversation, resulting in a large move lower for crypto and other risk assets during the second half of the week. Continuing last week's trend, on-chain activity was a bit mixed across the board. After active addresses and transaction count rose last week, both metrics fell by 0.8% and 2.8%, respectively. Monthly and daily active supply rose and fell, respectively, for the second week in a row. Though new addresses ticked down a modest 0.2% last week, the metric rose a modest 0.9% this week as new players may be starting to enter the crypto markets. BTC's market value fell modestly this week after a nearly plus 14% rise to $815 billion in the week ending February 11th. After 3 consecutive weeks of rising transaction fees, Bitcoin's average transaction fee dropped by a whopping 18.4%. Hash rate ticked down 6% last week. However, the trend flipped to the upside as BTC's hash rate rose a whopping plus 15.3% at the time of writing. Though the metric has since pulled back, Bitcoin's hash rate hit a new all-time high on February 12. Miner market cap, which measures the total amount of BTC sitting in mining pools and individual miner wallets, fell 1.2% to $189 billion. Bitcoin's difficulty adjusted 4.78% on February 17 in the 6th consecutive positive difficulty adjustment. Now let's start with news of the world. Earlier this week, a group of U.S. senators introduced the Accountability for Cryptocurrency in El Salvador, ACES, Act to mandate the production of a State Department report on how to mitigate potential risks to the U.S. financial system due to countries adopting crypto as legal tender. The report will include several key pieces of information about El Salvador's process to legalize BTC as legal tender, and how the legalization affects citizens and businesses. Bitcoin is now legal in Ukraine, as its parliament approved in final reading a bill that caters to the president's recommendations. However, the country has not made BTC a legal tender. Ukrainian Minister of Digital Transformation Mikhailo Fedorov said, and quote, "The new law is an additional opportunity for business development in our country. Foreign and Ukrainian crypto companies will be able to operate legally, and Ukrainians will have convenient and secure access to the global market for virtual assets." The bill details requirements that Bitcoin service providers such as exchanges should abide by and determines fines for violations of the law's provisions, in addition to determining that the country's National Securities Commission regulates the crypto market. The statement said Ukraine's Securities Commission would be tasked with issuing permits to Bitcoin and crypto service providers and carrying out supervision and financial monitoring of the market. In a letter to a group of senators, the Treasury said that it does not plan to treat miners, stakers, or wallet providers as brokers for tax purposes. The letter says, and quote, "Existing regulations impose broker reporting obligations only on market participants engaged in business activities that provide them with access to information about sales of securities by taxpayers." The Treasury clarified this requirement in response to 2021's infrastructure bill, which introduced new reporting rules for crypto brokers. On Valentine's Day, Georgia became the latest U.S. state to weigh tax incentives for BTC miners, and Colorado decided to accept BTC for state taxes. The U.S. Department of Justice, DOJ, appointed Yoon-Young Choi as the leader of its national cryptocurrency enforcement team. Choi said, and quote, "NCET will play a pivotal role in ensuring that as the technology surrounding digital assets grows and evolves, the department in turn accelerates and expands its efforts to combat their illicit abuse by criminals of all kinds." The DOJ also announced a new virtual asset exploitation unit that will be trained to analyze blockchain transactions and seize illicit crypto assets. A Georgia House Bill 1342, which was filed also on Valentine's Day, seeks to exempt the sale or use of electricity used in commercial mining of digital assets, an approach to attract crypto miners that is similar to a law passed last year in Kentucky. Earlier this week, Illinois Senate Bill 3643 received co-sponsorship from State Senator Julie Morrison. If approved, it would introduce a data center tax incentive program for crypto miners who invest at least $250 million, create at least 20 jobs, and achieve carbon neutral status. From last week's Canadian truck protest, the Ontario Superior Court of Justice signed a court order to freeze funds that a group of protesters, dubbed the Freedom Convoy, raised via crypto donations from over 120 different addresses. While the court cannot directly freeze the privately owned wallets of contributors, it can restrict these funds from entering the Canadian financial system by disabling off-ramps, such as exchanges and financial institutions. Respondents to the order have a week to explain what their assets are for, whether they own the assets, and to submit an examination under oath. Russia takes a turn for the best after President Vladimir Putin has asked Russian politicians and the central bank to reach a consensus. Now, the Ministry of Economic Development proposed permitting crypto mining in regions with electricity surpluses and introducing acceptable energy rates for crypto mining companies. The ministry hopes that these changes will alleviate power deficits experienced by households and industries in other territories. The proposal also introduces a reduction in tariffs for mining farms, data processing centers, and energy sources. The UAE is set to issue nationwide crypto licensing and build a crypto mining ecosystem. Intel announced that crypto mining company Grid Infrastructures and Jack Dorsey's Block pre-ordered its new blockchain accelerator crypto-focused chip, which will launch at the International Solid-State Circuits Conference on February 20th. Crypto miner, IVE Blockchain, reported fiscal third-quarter revenue of $68.2 million, a plus 400% surge from its prior year third-quarter revenue of $17.2 million. The gain was driven by increased crypto prices and the acquisition of mining facilities in Quebec and Atlanta, Georgia. Crypto mining host Bitdriver's Russian subsidiary, one of the largest in the country, reported net zero carbon emissions for the second half of 2021. In the exchange stock market, the assets under management (AUM) of all US-based BTC ETFs grew significantly. However, the same isn't true about trading volume. While BITO and XBT saw their volumes rise with 8.64% and 28.2%, respectively, BTF and BITS saw significant reductions, with 29.25% and 55.14% in trading volume, respectively. While tracked ETFs traded at a slight premium to their NAV last week, the trend has flipped, and now every ETF is trading at a modest discount to their NAV. Fidelity International introduced a BTC ETP in Europe to be listed on the Deutsche Börse in Frankfurt and SIX Swiss Exchange in Zurich. Trading under the ticker FBTC, the ETP will charge a 0.75% fee. Meanwhile, in the decentralized finance universe, stablecoin protocol, Frax Finance, will airdrop Frax Price Index, FPI, a stablecoin that seeks to peg itself to the US CPI, to holders who stake their FXS governance tokens in smart contracts. Data will be sourced from the BLS monthly inflation report and published to the blockchain by a Chainlink oracle. For example, if the US CPI sits at 7%, the FPI token price will be $1.07. A snapshot of holders will take place at 4 p.m. PST on February 20th. The future distribution of the token is set for an undisclosed date in the future. A U.S. District Court judge in New York ordered Terraform Labs and CEO, Do Kwon, to cooperate with subpoenas that the SEC issued in its investigation of Mirror Protocol. The protocol enables users to trade synthetic versions of popular U.S. stocks in a decentralized manner. Do Kwon was previously served a subpoena issued in the investigation of Terra Labs during the Mosari Mainnet crypto conference in September 2021 when exiting an escalator. Aave Governance passed a proposal to deploy its lending protocol on the Evmos blockchain shortly after its February 28 launch. Avalanche-based DEX, Pangolin, announced that it will launch its first multi-chain deployment on Near protocol. The DEX received a grant from the Near Grants program to build a limit order-enabled DEX on the blockchain. It's a first for everything. Her Majesty's Revenue and Customs, HMRC, seized 3 NFTs and roughly £5,000 worth of crypto linked to a suspected tax fraud scheme worth £1.4 million. This is reportedly the first time UK authorities have impounded NFTs. McDonald's has filed 10 trademark applications with the United States Patent and Trademark Office, USDO, to create a virtual restaurant featuring actual and virtual goods. Digital goods would include food and beverage products, and the McDonald's-themed metaverse could include entertainment services and virtual concerts as well as the ability for users to order home delivery from the virtual restaurant. This week, JP Morgan became the first bank to enter the metaverse with its opening of the Onyx Lounge in Decentraland. Alongside building a bank in the metaverse, JP Morgan also released a white paper on the opportunities in the metaverse. The Cardano Foundation added a new member, Fernando Luis Vázquez-Cao, to its board of directors. Fernando reportedly has a strong background with over 20 years of experience. This addition comes at a time when the Cardano Foundation is expanding its core operations. Moving forward, Polygon co-founder, Mihailo Bjelic, addressed concerns of centralization in the Polygon network, particularly over the project's usage of multisigs, which have control of more than $5 billion in Matic tokens. This was in response to a thread from Justin Bonds, who resurfaced the issue and claimed it to be a security concern. The Algorand Foundation has awarded London-based software development company Applied Blockchain with a grant to develop a bridge between Algorand and Ethereum. Bridging the two networks is a move that would be expected to bring a large amount of liquidity to the network. It is reported Applied Blockchain will work directly with the Algorand Foundation to optimize the design of the bridge. This is all for today. The text version is in the description. Thank you for supporting our channel. Use this information wisely, stay sharp and illuminated. If you enjoy this session, please support our channel by clicking like and subscribe, and we will keep you updated with the news.